On April 8, 2011, former amateur footballers Billy Wingrove and Jeremy Lynch launched F2 Freestylers, a channel on YouTube where they post tutorials showcasing football tricks and tips, and freestyle video content featuring professional players.
F2 Freestyle.
Brody, I'm here with the F2.
The F2.
Over time, they built a social media empire with over 14 million subscribers and 3.1 billion views on YouTube. But all it took was one selfish ego to tear their YouTube kingdom into pieces. So what caused the F2 Freestylers' tragic downfall? You see, Billy Wingrove and Jeremy Lynch are the two dudes who make up the F2, and the duo used to be the kings of freestyle football. I mean, these guys used to roam the street showing off their "don't try this at home" skills. I'm talking about the kind of tricks that'll leave you with a broken ankle. Their insane ball control and iconic skills left many wondering why they chose to create football content rather than pursue a professional career. But hey, it wasn't like this from the beginning. These guys didn't just wake up one morning and were like, let's create videos to be famous. They each had humble beginnings that led them to create the success they have today. Growing up, Jeremy Lynch had a unique passion for football, setting him apart from other kids his age. And all it took was the one clip to make the biggest decision of his life. Jeremy had seen a football clip when he was only 13, and from that moment, he knew he wanted to do one thing, and only one thing: become a pro footballer. But little did he know that he was about to whip up one hell of a storm. See guys, Lynch claimed to have played in Arsenal Academy as a teenager before being released, and it does make a lot of sense because this guy is incredibly talented. So if he had ended it there, maybe we all would have bought the story without having second thoughts. But did he? Hell no. In fact, he took it up a notch by saying he wasn't a pro footballer because the staff at Arsenal told him that although he was the best player on the ball at the club, he was the worst when it came to off-the-ball play.
They said, on the ball, you're the best at the whole club, including the first team, but they said off the ball, you're one of the worst.
But he didn't stop at that. He attributed his off-the-ball weaknesses to having limited coaching while growing up, leading to poor movement and understanding of the game. Even in the video, you can tell by Billy's expression that he wasn't entirely convinced. Maybe Jeremy got caught up in his own story and decided to spice it up a little bit, or he was simply trying to whip up sentiments. But just to break it down a bit, Arsenal 03-04 won the league and became the Invincibles. These guys played 38 games and didn't even lose a single game. With players like Dennis Bergkamp, Robert Pires, Gilberto Silva, and even Thierry Henry, the team was simply incredible. Now, Jeremy, I'm a super fan, but claiming that the coaches at the club thought you were better than these guys is simply hogwash. No, bro, I'm not buying any of that. And neither was this next guy who busted him like a cop straight out of GTA. But hey man, if you don't want to get busted like my man Jeremy, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on amazing football content. See, Fabrice Muamba, a former professional footballer and Arsenal Academy graduate, came out to set the record straight after he heard Jeremy's story. He told the world that he didn't recall Lynch being part of the squad and showed that Lynch did not appear in Academy photographs. Following the revelation, internet meme assassins wasted no time slaughtering Jeremy. Lynch was probably ashamed and decided to lay low for a while, but soon resurfaced at Britain's Got Talent and put up the same Arsenal story. Well, he indeed was with Arsenal, but claiming to have been regarded as the best was a lie taken too far. Lynch's journey to the semi-finals earned him considerable recognition, even though he didn't win the competition. Unlike Jeremy, Billy led a less controversial lifestyle right from his teenage years. Billy grew up in a family of footballers, with his dad Alan playing in the youth academy at Spurs. His cousin Greg also played for Arsenal's youth team, even though he didn't make it as a full pro. Billy had all these guys around him and wanted to go pro, but his plans were soon cut short. The guy at Spurs Academy called him into the office and dropped the tragic news that they'd have to release him because he was too small and not physically strong enough to go pro. Billy could have easily given up, but he gave his football career another shot and started playing at the youth level for Enfield Town and then semi-professionally for Ware FC. But this wasn't enough for him. He knew that he had to do something else to sustain himself, or else it was going to be all over for him. So he came up with a brilliant idea that was going to change his life. See, Billy had been doing freestyle for years to back himself up, but he needed to do it at another level. So he teamed up with Jeremy Lynch, and the Teenage Rejects became the Kings of London. From money to fame to anything you can imagine, the duo literally had everything. They got to perform at the Ballon d'Or and even released a DVD called How to Freestyle Volume 1. It was blowing up everywhere, and they were selling tickets faster than a typical Chris Brown concert. They partnered with brands like Nike and Puma, and even collaborated with superstars like Messi, Ronaldo, Suarez, and Neymar. Just name it. The F2 were getting mega endorsement deals, had all the money coming in, even racking up massive views. But all it took was one event for the whole world to see that the F2 was falling apart. You see, it all started on March 4th, 2018, when F2 and XO, a YouTube group composed of True Jordy and Steven Tries, were supposed to film an entertaining YouTube collaboration. But things didn't go as planned, as the XO boys were terribly irritated by Jeremy's attitude throughout the filming process. So Steven hit the studio to give them a piece of his mind and legit released a diss track. He shaded their age, shaded their Audi, and even called them Love Island FC. That hurts, man. But that wasn't even the deal, because when it got down to the match proper, something else happened. The 25th of March saw the F2 win the Wembley Cup, but they got a controversial defeat to the XO boys in the early stages. The F2 accused the ref of cheating, claiming he blew the whistle 2 minutes earlier. At this point, Jeremy was already pissed about the match, so when he saw Steven around the back, he pulled up to him face to face, and the face-off was far from nice. But clips of the conversation only came to the limelight 2 years after the incident. Someone posted a video of the altercation on Twitter, and it showed Jeremy and his friend trash-talking Steven before True Jordy intervened. This clip ruined Jeremy's reputation even further. Following this, a growing number of individuals in the business began to speak out about their own experiences of working with Jeremy. To add salt to injury, the guy in charge of Wembley Cup and CEO Spencer FC went on a podcast where he admitted that the ref indeed cheated at the expense of the F2. He said the ref blew the whistle 2 minutes earlier because he didn't like the F2. And just then, he dropped a bombshell. Apparently, the F2 duo were not as close as we all thought. Spencer said that things behind the scenes of the F2 are unbelievably unstable, and that Jeremy and Steven weren't on the greatest of terms, and hadn't been for a long period of time. You see, Billy Wingrove and Jeremy Lynch had been trying to have a successful business relationship, and everything looked all good from the outside. But on the inside, everything was collapsing. They weren't even bros. In fact, people who had worked with the duo before started turning up with their own stories of what it was like. And the issue always was they had a big ego, and they were really difficult to work with. One online commentator stated, "I've always actually enjoyed Billy. He gets mixed into all this, but he appears to be a decent guy having to work with a walking ego." People disliked Jeremy's ego and labeled him as a narcissist. His fans began to turn against him, and this has largely continued to this day. Jeremy exemplifies the type of person we dislike in the content-making industry, who influences lifestyle with a profound lack of self-awareness and a huge ego. In fact, things got so bad between the duo that they stopped putting out videos together. They even got rid of the F2 Academy, which was like an education thing they had been running. But despite all the hate he got, Jeremy still enjoys a massive following on TikTok, where he posts children-related content. And Billy? Well, he still posts freestyle videos and even has a family YouTube channel called the Wingrove Family. It's no secret that they could have taken over the world, but Jeremy's mistake cost them both years of sacrifice. Speaking about secrets, I bet you didn't know that Kylian Mbappe, the man with the deadly finish, has more secrets than a CIA agent. Seriously, this guy literally spends millions just to stay broke. And I know you want to hear more about that, so click this video right here.